Okay, I'm sure you're asking yourself, who am I? Why should you listen to me? And even more, why should you trust me? So before we start this journey of enlightenment, let's get that part out of the way. This story begins about 5 years ago when I was 60 years old, living here in Brisbane. I developed a numbing pain in the left part of my hip. And one day while I was limping down the street, I fell over. Ambulance was called, sent to hospital, all the blood tests, the scans, etc., etc. After a while they came back and they said I had a very rare disease that was causing my left hip to crumble, and it was caused by a lack of testosterone. That amazed me completely because I'd led an active lifestyle, skydiving, surf skiing, swimming, cycling, and I don't drink, I don't smoke, and I tried my very best to follow a really good eating plan laid out by a nutritionist because I didn't want to get fat and overweight, and as I was 60, I wanted to try and keep fit in my later years. That was 5 years ago. Right, so the doctors essentially said, well, there's nothing we can do for you. You're going to be bedridden for at least 6 months. They sent me home. I was in incredible pain. They gave me very powerful opioid painkillers. And that was it. Yeah, I'm lying in bed. And as you know, you get very bored very quickly, especially if you've been active. And I started eating. And I started getting depressed, as you would. The opioid painkillers didn't help. And months rolled by, pain was still there. I wasn't getting any better. I was getting worse. I was getting fatter, more unhealthy, more depressed, more miserable. And it went on. 5 months later, I had severe type 2 diabetes. Seriously, my pancreas had just about stopped working. My liver functions were so terrible. I had 5 of the major markers of metabolic syndrome. I had even problems breathing. My eyesight was getting blurred, and I'd lost the feeling in my toes. That's how bad it got so quickly. During all this time, though, my wife, who's really pedantic about this, she'd seen a clinical dietitian and a nutritionist, 2 different people, and I was eating the best of the best of the best, and it was costing a fortune, and I was getting worse and worse and worse. Things came to a head, and I actually stopped eating altogether. I couldn't keep down food. Now I'm just existing on water. There's nothing I can do. Go back to the doctors, the hospital. I fought in a war for about 4.5 years in Africa, where I originally come from. And I saw in the doctors' faces exactly the same look that I saw when they looked at guys who were dying, and there was nothing they could do. I was dying. So they sent me, there was talk about them, a lot of talk, sending me to a hospice. A hospice is a very specialized hospital where you go to die. My wife was having none of it, came back home. The nurse came in all the time. I was stuck on these drips and things. Couldn't eat, battling to drink water. And my wife, in desperation, she knew I liked biltong. Biltong is an African version of beef jerky. Think about 1,000 times better. It's meat with a lot of fat on, and put salt, pepper, coriander, rub it on there. She brought it home, it was sliced, and amazingly, I was able to eat it. So I started eating the biltong, thinking I was going to bring it up. A week goes by, and I'm not half as depressed, and I'm actually starting to feel better. A month goes by, and now I love coffee. I'd gone off coffee months before that because I just didn't want it, which was really weird. So a month goes by, and I say to my wife, I want to go to the coffee shop. I want to have a cup of coffee. So we get out the wheelchair, go to the coffee shop. Now this picture that I'm showing you here is so important to me because it's me at the coffee shop for the first time after I thought I was going to die. Everybody thought I was going to die. I'm just getting better and better, and I'm living on dried meat with a bit of fat on it. That's it. This picture behind me now, this is me at 3 months. I dragged myself onto a plane and flew from Brisbane to Adelaide in South Australia to visit my daughter. Dried meat and fat. That's when I thought, something wrong here, something major wrong with everything. So I became what you would call a citizen scientist, and I started researching everything. We'll go through what I found in a very abbreviated detail because it's a huge subject. But a lot of people that I'd got to know when I'd gone to see the doctors, they saw how I had improved, my health had improved. And they said, what are you doing? So I told them, and for want of a better word, I started coaching them. And you know what? They all got better. Oh, sorry. This is very emotional for me. They all got better. And the doctors all said the same thing. Nah, this is impossible. What's going on here? They had no answers. So, with the knowledge of how I helped these people, I built a course. And I thought to myself, I have to get the message out. They all told me I have to get the message out. So I decided to set up a course on the internet, a brand new course, and launch it to help people. Sorry. So here we are. Why should you trust me? Well, if you're anything like my clients and myself, you want the simple things. You want your life back. You're tired of taking medications. You're tired of thinking there's no hope. You're tired of dying. You're tired of losing your sight. You're tired of worrying about losing your legs. What do you want to do? You might just want to go to the beach. You might want to go to your son or daughter's wedding, any wedding. You might just want to go to the coffee shop and sit in the sun and enjoy your life. You might want to go on a cruise. You might want to go skiing, shopping. You might want to go and buy clothes that you can fit into, decent, stylish clothes, which you can't now because of the results that diabetes are just so obese. Like I was morbidly obese. You might want to do these simple things. I've been in your shoes. I'm in my clients' shoes every single day. I know what they feel. I know what they go through. I know what you've gone through. I know what I've gone through. I am you. Constantly, I'm you. That's why you should trust me. Because I want to give you your life back. I know how to do it. I know the lies you've been fed. And this is what this masterclass is about. It's just to try and show you an enlightened path that shows you the lies for what they truly are. Because there's so many lies. That's why you should trust me. And I hope by the end of this masterclass, I have proven to you that I am telling the truth and I have your best interests at heart.